This is a fish lady called Azashari, the drowned princess, I think. This is Groundeffected, my name is your dad, and I'm still busy testing this gyro resin, and this is like my third or fourth plate with it. So far, so good. I will still have to do a lot more testing before I actually give you my opinion. And this is because I can't just give you my opinion based off of one or two prints. It needs to be tested for a while, so I will be testing this for a good few more weeks, a load more plates, and then I will tell you what I think about it. Usually I'd give you a whole montage of taking prints off printers, but I cannot be bothered with that, so let's just do this. And with the magic of cinema making, or whatever you want to call it, I'm done with getting all that nonsense out the way. So on the base there is a little blob jewel of water that is splashing at the feet of this lady, but I didn't feel like printing the entire base in clear, so I just cut it out. But equally, I cut out the exact globule in the 3D slice, not in the slicer, I did it in my, words are hard. I cut out this same little piece from off of the digital file, and now I'm going to try to somehow stick this in that gap so that I can have the clear water there as well. Although I did maybe cure this piece a little bit too much, and now it looks like a little bit of piss. Piss water aside, I'm gonna now paint that water using this turquoise contrast paint. The reason that I'm using this paint is because it's blue, but also it's green, so it's like turquoise. That's how turquoise works, apparently. Either way, what you want to do when you're painting water is make sure you leave a lot of the transparent. That's what makes it look like water. If you put too much paint on, you lose the effect of water, because water is not actually turquoise or blue or anything like that. It just kind of has some tint of that to it. So obviously, once I had painted those, I put a gloss clear over the top of them to protect them so that I could then mask them using liquid mask. After I did that, I can come back and paint the rest of the bits, because these pieces are attached to parts that need to still be painted. So for example, the base, I used Kaleido primer and painted it black, and then I used another turquoise, but this time not a transparent one, and I sprayed that from a direction of the side over the top of this entire base. And then I used a much brighter turquoise, which is kind of like a teal kind of color, and I painted that also from the side, picking up all the ripples in this base. I then can take off that liquid mask, which is literally just latex basically, and now I can put on a real gloss over the top of this. And I'm going to use this Hey Gears gloss, which I'm pretty convinced, in fact I know, it's just a UV resin, a transparent high gloss UV resin. So you paint this stuff on, but equally this stuff does benefit from using a warm hairdryer to make it flow a little bit more. I'm not wearing gloves, I agree, this is not the best thing in the world, but I didn't touch it with my fingers. I'm keeping far away from it, and I also wore a mask while I did this, so just, you don't want to be breathing in any of these fumes, they're not good for you. After I had painted the whole thing, I warmed it up with the hairdryer, and then I smashed it with the UV light. And because I painted it a little bit too thick, it left kind of like some bubbles in it, but in this case, it's actually okay, because I quite like the effect of the bubbles in the base. Now I'm going to put a zenithal paint over the top of everything. That's where I put a highlight, which is a light color over the top of black, and particularly that coral is going to benefit from that. I'm going to use a magma orange contrast paint to sort of start out the color, and then I'm going to use this really desaturated, it's basically coral color. It's really desaturated orange, and I'm going to spray that on the tips, and then I used a bit more of that magma orange just to brighten up the bottom, because it got a bit oversprayed too much with the next steps. Anyway, I'm now going to paint the rock, and one would think that you'd want to start this from black, but that is incorrect, because it's in the water. Maybe it's not, it doesn't matter actually, but I feel like I had a better result by painting this with that really dark turquoise, and then dry brushing the rock colors that I would normally use on any other kind of a rock, except for my base is now turquoise instead of black. And hopefully this ties everything together. I mean, the rock is definitely going to stand out from the base, but that's kind of the whole point, because you want it to look like everything else is wet except for the rock. I'm not sure, there's probably like a dungeon inside of the water, I don't know how this works. I am not a fantasy guy like that, and I cannot even fathom how this would work in my brain, but it doesn't matter. I can paint the thing, and so this is how I painted the thing. Speaking of painting the thing, I need to paint the throne that this fish lady is sitting on, and to do this I'm going to use that turquoise as well as a very dark sort of army drab green in order to dry brush the entire base. it's going to create some textures because the textures are already sculpted there, and the brush is going to pick up all the edges of those textures, which will make it look like there is a whole load of texture in this textured area. Damn, I said the word texture too much. Doesn't matter. Once I put all the textures though, I'm going to spray that original contrast turquoise color into the shadows and only at the bottom of this chair, because that will help to tie it into the bottom of the base. It helps with the atmosphere as well, but equally it does take away a little bit of the highlight, so I'll come back and just add a little bit more highlight using this neutral gray. And on the bottom of this chair, and in other areas as well, it seems like there's a bit of seaweed, and I pretty much decided I'll just paint this with green. But the trick is, if you make it too bright green, things might start looking a little bit crazy. I'm imagining that this entire scene is essentially underwater, and so the colors and light and atmosphere will be mostly blue because of the water, blue and green kind of. And so in order to keep with that theme, I'm not using a bright green, I'm actually just using a very olivey military type green. Now I can put on the hands also some liquid mask, and this is the dumbest thing you can do is to use a normal brush for this. You want to use one of those little silicone rubber sculpting tools. That's the best thing to use for this. And then I'm going to move over into the color that I use for the main portions of this fish lady's body. And I've mixed up 4 different colors. Basically what I'm trying to achieve is a turquoise that doesn't match the exact turquoise of the base. I want it a little bit darker, so closer to black, because we will be dry brushing some metallic colors on it. And also at the same time, I still want to have some slight sheen to it, so I added a couple of colors, like a color shift color, which wasn't really it didn't really help that much, but it still makes a slight difference to the color. It's not a major huge thing that you can see, but it does definitely make a small difference to things. I'm now going to add some shadows onto all of these parts with using that turquoise contrast that I used earlier, and that's because it's quite a bit darker and a little bit more bluer actually, so this helps to add a little bit more color and bring the color back in again. Now taking some white primer, I'm going to put that just straight into my airbrush, and I didn't even clean it out at all. I just finished the paint that was in there, and it doesn't really matter because this is an underpainting. I just need a very light color for this underpainting, and I tried to obviously increase the sheen on that skin of the fish sections, so I used Turbo Dork over the top of that, and it didn't make that much of a difference. So again, another failure on that part, but I will bring that back later. Don't worry, we'll get around to it. The fish on the base, I needed to paint him like a really weird blue color. So to do this, I painted him a metallic blue because he needs to be sort of metallic-y because he's a fish. I then painted blue ink over the top of that to bring back the saturation, and then I put a Drakenhof Nightshade, which is quite an almost blackish blue, over the shadows of everything to get the color that I wanted on this fish. And then I dry brushed some of that green from the base earlier. Sleeves while I waited for the fish to dry. And now that the fish is dry, I'm going to take some red, paint his fins at the back, and then I'm going to use that corally color that I had before to paint over his front fins and also his lips as well. I'm also going to use that same color mixed with a little bit of pink. This is a very light baby pink, and I'm going to paint I guess he's an anglerfish, so I'm going to paint the little doily thing on the top of his head and do a little bit of a wet blend between the orange and that doily thing, the colors, so that there's a blend. Look blendy, nice blendy. Move on. Deck tan. Deck tan goes in the eyeballs. This is because they are eyeballs. For some reason he has eyeballs on his side, and I'm not going to argue or question it. I'm just going to paint the eyeballs on the side, and that's pretty much what I did using deck tan. After that, I took black and I then painted a tiny little dot in the center of each of those little eyeballs, and there was not much else to do with this fish other than, I'm pretty sure, just stick him on the base. For now, I'm going to start working on the skin tones, and to lay the undershadow for the skin tones, it's a fish lady. So we're not going to do the typical skin tones that I would do, and I'm going to spray a blue into the shadowed areas. After that, I will take a very light, like a key lime green, and I'm going to spray that into the areas of the highlight, and this is the base setup for my skin tones. I obviously don't want this lady to be fully green, although looking back now, I feel like maybe I should have just kept her a bit more green, but I ended up taking this light blue and spraying that over the top of everything to bring her back towards the blue color. I'm then going to add a bit of white into that light blue, and I'm going to carefully spray this just to highlighted areas, like really specular highlighted areas, to push the values of the skin from the deepest, darkest shadow to the brightest highlight. Now I'm going to add a little bit of eyeshadow, I guess is what you call it, and I'm going to spray this on a low air pressure into her eyes, and I used Griff Charger Grey, which I thought was not dark enough, so I ended up taking Black Templar and doing the exact same thing with Black Templar, and this gave me a much darker eyeshadow, which I'm happier with. I'm going to take a little bit of Orcish Domus. This steps really fast, but it's super thin down, and I'm going to spray it into some of the underside areas of the model, and you really can't see it. It's like a blend. It's there, I can tell that it's there, but it's not visible. You don't want this to be a crazy layer. Also, now that the hands are dry, I can take off the mask that was on the hands and spray some of that turquoise over the sections between where I masked and the hand that I'd originally painted, because that little connection's a little bit poo due to my terrible masking attempt. I'm now going to work on the textures on the legs, and for this what I did was I took two brushes, a dry brush and a normal brush, and I basically painted the paint on, and using the dry brush I kind of blended that paint up into the area where I wanted to blend to, and used it to catch all the edges of the texture that is on the outside of the leg, but on the inside I just kind of blended the paint as far as it would go, which then gave me an awesome blend, and it looks very natural looking, and you can see me going between the brush and the dry brush, blending the colors basically. On the bottom part of the leg, I literally just painted it out with the brush. Now to add some detail to that, I'm going to use this metallic blue from Kaleido, and I'm going to dry brush that over the top of all the raised scales on almost all of the fish parts of this lady. This video was sponsored by CA3D Studios, and I just want to mention that the model that I'm painting in this video, it was sculpted by Let's See 3D, and it was rendered by Carolina Nicoletti. This is important, I feel like, to just mention the artist as well, and if you are interested in them, there will be a link to CA3D Studios, which you can then find the artist through there. So go check out CA3D Studios. By the way, they are a studio which creates 3D models every single month. They have like one of the biggest lists. They produce so many models every single month. So if you're interested in a load of different stuff, go check them out and let them know that I sent you. And that's it. Fucking sponsor. And once all of the metallic's done, I'm gonna then take a little bit of black and mix it into what's left over from the skin color of the fish, and I'm gonna paint the fins on the tail that is sticking out of her backside. Then I'm gonna take black, matte black, and just paint that over her hair. And this I'm just going to paint solidly. I'm not going to do any dry brushing or any highlights on this. I feel like it doesn't need too much attention brought to it, other than just making sure that it is as tidy as possible and not getting any paint on the face whilst working in that area. There is still a little bit left of that fish color on my palette, so I'm going to take that and paint it over her corset, which I think is made out of fish parts, and also the back end of the tail, which is obviously sticking out of backside. And I'm going to do this with a smallish brush, but I'm going to try not to get any on the skin. If I do, I'm going to lick my brush and wipe it off. Or if you don't want to lick your brush, well then you can just use some water and do the same thing as licking, but without your mouth, obviously. I dry brushed some of that metallic blue over those scales as well, and then once that was done, I can now paint the black of the clothes. The reason I did the dry brush before painting the black is because this saves me having to come back and tidy up if any of that dry brushing got on this black, because of course it would stand out like a sore thumb since it is metallic, and I don't want that to happen. Obviously, once I had painted the bottom section, I then moved over to the top section, and this is exactly the same sort of situation. Just painting black solidly over the top of all of the cloth that is up top here. This black I mix with a little bit of water on my palette, and it flows very nicely, and is one of my favorites. I'm going to take a very bright turquoise color, and this I'm going to paint over the top of the, I don't know what they are. There's like these little diamond things on the center of her chest, and I painted that with the turquoise color. I'm also going to use a bronze, and I'm going to paint that over the top of her shells that go around her waist. I'm also going to paint the little rope that's holding it all together, and now I can carefully piece this little piece of model, pretty much the whole body, together at this point. This model was a little bit tricky to put together, and what you'll notice is I couldn't get it into the base. This was because of the hands, so I took out the hands, she slipped in perfectly, and then I put the hands back in, and I didn't actually film the part where I put the tail on, but I'll put the tail on after this. I'm now able to start working on the thing that is attached to her head, which is I don't know what this thing is. It looks terrifying, but either way, it's got a bunch of teeth, so I used some deck tan to paint all of those teeth. When you paint teeth, make sure to leave a nice little line around the outside, especially on something as dark as this, because it will help the teeth stand out from each other, and they will just look a little bit cleaner and more like teeth. If you just painted solidly over everything in that area, it would look weird because there isn't white in between teeth. There is a darkness, which is the tiny little gap that's there. So that's my little bit of information for that. Now to paint his eyeballs, I used the same color, deck tan, and then I took some Griff Charger Grey and I sprayed that into the shadows of those areas before moving on to the face of this lady, of which I painted black over her eyeliner area. So that's the eyelid at the top, and equally I painted the eyelid at the bottom as well, and this is because it's setting up for painting the insides of the eyes. For this eye, I just used deck tan, and this was the base color that I pretty much used to start out with shaping the eye. And when I was done with that, I took a very, very light blue. It's almost basically, I just took that sky blue that I used earlier and mixed it to the deck tan to make a very light blue, and I painted that back over the top of the eyes. But I obviously didn't do that at this point because I was letting the eyes dry, and first I painted Magos purple over the lips to give her some pink lips. This is where I was painting that blue, very light blue, and then I took the turquoise that was the base color for the actual base of the model, and I painted in some pupils, irises, not, I don't know, because there's not either of these in there. Her eyes need to sort of look blindy in a way, like they got cataracts or something. So I painted that dark blue, and then using the same light blue that I used for the eyes originally, I painted most of that blue away to make them look like they've got this weird sheen on them. And then I put a highlight, which is white, as a specular highlight in the eyes, and then put some gloss over the top of both the lips and also the eyes themselves, because these parts need to look wet. I do wish I put a satin on the whole body, but I didn't do that, and now I can put the head on this model and call it done. Well, this one was a little bit different. It wasn't a superhero. There aren't very super bright saturated colors, and so hopefully you picked out something out of this. Maybe this helps you with the model that you're thinking of painting, or maybe you're thinking of painting this specific model yourself and you just had no idea how to start, because I know I had absolutely no idea what I was going to do when I started it. But once I started working, it kind of, the flow just sort of happened and everything seemed to work out in the end. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Of course, if you want to support the channel, well then there is my own Patreon. There is a link for that in the description. You get like color palettes from the videos. You also get some behind the scenes stuff. You get cheat cards. You get all sorts of things over on my Patreon. So go check it out. There is a link in the description. And go check out the sponsor of this video. That's it from me. Hopefully we'll see you next week if the world doesn't end. And if you didn't like anything you saw in the video, well, that seems like a you problem, and you should probably leave some horrible words in them.